Well. Guess who was right again? I've been telling you guys, kernel-level anti-cheat is really not safe. I not get it confused with regular anti-cheat. I'm talking about kernel-level access anti-cheat. I've made plenty of videos in the past, especially early in the channel, and people are telling me, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about." Blah blah blah. But here we are again. Yes, a new game, Battlefield 6. Everyone's talking about it. Such a great game. Everyone's really talking about this game. And more people are racing to the concern. The same thing that I've been warning people for months and months, even years, of how much of vulnerability kernel level anti-cheat. At this point, I just feel like a freaking broken record. Eventually, people are gonna wake up, and they are waking up to this idea. You know, I wasn't going to really talk about this again because at this point, I kind of stopped. I gave up on trying to explain it to people and how it's a vulnerability. But the other day, I was talking to a friend of mine, and he pretty much told me that he didn't want to play Battlefield 6 because it required him to enable secure boot, and he was asking me why this happens, and I'm like, that means kernel level anti-cheat. So you know what I decided to do? I went up into the internet and I tried to look up what type of anti-cheat it has, and ding ding ding, I was right, kernel level anti-cheat. It requires you to enable secure boot and other things. Hopefully you'll learn something from this video. So let's get into this.
Present day. Present time.
Okay, so I'll explain something first with those that don't understand what kernel level anti-cheat. So your operating system operates at two levels. There's the kernel. The kernel will be like your OS, your operating system, Windows, whatever you're running. It basically runs in really elevated privileges, like you got control. Then right here in the user mode, you basically run your program, whatever software you have, your game, League of Legends, whatever, that runs at the user mode, right? Let's go back a little bit and explain how cheats work. So cheats basically work at the same level as the software that you're running, which will be the user mode level. And because they're at the same level as the software, they can actually read the memory. And in other cases, they can even write into it. Because they can read into the memory, they can actually reveal things that the user usually can't see by eye. And because it could read this memory, it could pretty much tell in a different screen or a different location to the user, hey, there's actually an enemy here, even though you don't even know. But it reads, essentially giving an advantage to other users, or a privilege that other users won't have that aren't cheating in a game. Now, this is where we get into the meat and potato of this. Now we get to the world of kernel level anti-cheat. Now, I'm sorry for my writing, it's horrible. Anyway, this is where we get to the part that I really love talking about it. So, because people are doing this, then almost every company that has competitive game has developed this thing called kernel level anti-cheat that operates on the kernel level, so it actually has access to those software and everything that you're running in the background to make sure that you're not cheating. So if you're running a cheat, it will be able to read it. It'll read your memory. It reads everything that pretty much is on your computer. I don't know for something that's new, anything that's been written, changed, anything. And if it finds something like the kids call it sauce, it will actually mark you as a cheater and most likely ban you. Now, this raises concerns, and I want to talk about two concerns first. The first thing is that you're actually giving the person who runs the game, you're giving them kernel level kernel level access, which means you're granting them permission to your computer and everything under the hood, pretty much. Let's say you're like watching some corn, someone's selling some yellow corn, some purple corn, you know what I'm saying, or you're doing anything in your computer and they see this, well, right there, they're violating your privacy. To be that's number one concern right there. That one is minor compared to the one we're going to start talking about. Now, here's the problem. It only takes one move, one bad patch for the anti-cheat to give the wrong patch, and it opens you to a whole window of vulnerabilities. For example, a couple years ago, Genshin Impact actually had a bug, like it was something that was patched wrong, and there was a group of ransomware that actually went around and started compromising computers, because if you fucked up, you could exploit this quite easy. And for those that don't know what a ransomware is basically a type of virus that holds your computer hostage, and it doesn't let you access your computer. It locks everything down, or all your files, till you pay X amount of money. And a lot of times, people that had been dumb enough to actually pay that money don't get their file back anyway. So yeah. Not only that, there's been instances, Genshin Impact deal with this, that because it's the kernel level access, the hack could actually, the ransomware I meant, can actually disable your antivirus or any firewall that you have. Happen is that this attackers pretty much, they'll see that you have anti-cheat installed, and then they'll use that to disable your antivirus pretty much. So first thing is first, you're exposing and you're giving up your privacy, and second, you're actually giving access and you're basically opening up yourself to all these type of threats. Some people might say that these companies don't know. They know what they're doing. They don't give a fuck about you. How many times have you seen a company take responsibility when something like this happened? Not many, especially from game publishers. No. Here is the part when it gets even spicier. So Riot Vanguard now has a kernel level anti-cheat that not only it's already a threat, how regular kernel level anti-cheat are, but now this kernel level anti-cheat operates before you even turn on your PC and your boot menu. You're booting basically. So you see how problematic this is becoming. It's just becoming worse and worse every time. But let me rephrase this. So Riot Vanguard kernel level anti-cheat loads as a boot driver. Do you know what that means? Do you know what that smells like? In other words, this anti-cheat even runs when your computer is not even on. When you're in that booting screen, it's still running in the background. This is one of the most inventive kernel level anti-cheat that you ever seen. Because I, in my opinion, I think this goes beyond kernel level. Like it literally, like when your computer is not on. Are you serious? How is this legal? You know how invasive does this sound? Like, essentially what it does, it hooks itself to a syscall. Let me explain if you don't know what this means. Freaking impersonates to be your operating system. It pretends it's your operating system. All this syscalls. Do you know how crazy does this sound? All this shit is doing. Look at what I'm showing you. This is all it does. It's inserting itself and taking this action. That sounds like a fucking virus. What the fuck? My god, dude, how are people installing this shit? This is making me pull my hairs out of my head. Yeah, let us insert it in the middle and take that action. That your Windows or whatever operating system you're using should be the one making that decision, not this shit. If you try to inspect the memory, it literally lifetime, and actually it will change whatever you're seeing to a different one, so you can't inspect it or change it. Do you now understand why I'm freaking out about this shit? Now what's happening now is that you have other games with different kernel level anti-cheats. For example, if you're playing this game and it has a kernel level anti-cheat, and then you have this other game that has kernel level anti-cheat, they're starting to interact with each other, and they won't let you run this game if you're running that one. They're starting to fuck with each other to the point that that other game is not going to run. So these kernel level anti-cheats are essentially, they're conflicting with each other. We're entering an era of online gaming or multiplayers or whatever that everyone wants to make their own kernel level anti-cheat. I don't fucking know why. They're using all different hook points, different methods, and it's not working out. That's all I'm gonna say. They're hooking themselves to the kernel, and not only you're already under a big vulnerability, now you gotta worry about all these vulnerability from this different type of kernel level anti-cheat. So you're basically taking the condom off and swallowing it. That's basically what you're doing. Now, what's happening, basically they're fighting on each other who gets access, and they're preventing each other from running that game or whatever, because it needs that access. So it's basically seeing people like they're cheating when they're really not cheating. Not only that, it's not really stopping cheating, it's just making it worse and making a lot of people actually get banned on top of opening yourself to all this vulnerabilities. If you have to have a separate computer to actually run a different whole other game because the different type of kernel level anti-cheat that it has. Do you know how stupid this sound? I don't know if you guys forgot, but Microsoft has said that they want to move away from kernel level anti-cheat, and they actually are planning of removing this whole crap since the CrowdStrike attack out of the kernel. So these companies know this, and I don't know why they keep making new ones. If you don't know what the CrowdStrike is, CrowdStrike was an attack in 2024, whatever year it was, that essentially attacked a lot of Windows computers all over the world. It crashed down airports, hospitals, anything that was running Windows just went down people that shit got crazy. It basically took a huge part of the global economy. Almost all the world was panicking at this time. It's just pushing not only gamers, but it's going to keep pushing more and more and more people into this. Not just like the regular people. It's because the thing is, it's not just games, but gamers are definitely on the top priority of people that are at risk. If you play these type of games, that is. And you know, at the end of the day, I'm a Linux user, and yeah, a lot of us tell you why kernel level anti-cheat it's bad and you shouldn't have it. You should not play games like that. But I'm not telling you what to do. I don't care if you're a Windows user, you're a Mac user, whatever user you are, you're a Linux user, whatever you are. I just want you guys to be safe. I don't want you guys to be attacked. And I'm just trying to inform you guys. If you want to use it, that's your own risk. When something bad happens, don't say I didn't warn you. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, leave me a comment, and tell me what you think about this whole thing. Do you want me to make more videos like this? And until next time, as always, stay spooky, stay weird, and bye.